And do you also record the grammar sessions that you take on YouTube?
I think Shweta, on that day I did not record on Saturday because I took the vocabulary part only. I did not, because vocabulary I generally upload on my reels part. I did not record that session. But today's session I'm recording, okay, because it's important session. Okay, so let's start with the speaking. Kindly put the heading at speaking. I request you to put the heading at speaking. We will be doing speaking. Speaking is one of the most important modules in IELTS. If I say speaking, so few points you should keep in your mind when you're doing speaking. The very first thing is content. The very first thing is content. Your content should be relevant and it should be strong enough that whatever question is being asked to you, it should clearly convey the idea. Is that clear? What you're trying to convey. Second thing, your grammar. If I say the grammar part, so basically tenses come in this part, then active passive comes. Active passive comes, then comes modals. Grammar. If you want to improve your grammar, I would suggest you to please learn tenses, active passive, and modals. Correct. Next comes sentence structure. Sentence structure. When you are speaking, it's very important to have appropriate sentence structure. If I say sentence structure, so I'm talking about simple sentence, I'm talking about compound sentence, and I'm talking about complex sentence. Next, it is very important to use good form of vocabulary. If I'm saying vocabulary, so I want to say vocabulary should be in terms of adjectives. It must be in form of adverbs. It is very important to use connectors. However, moreover, furthermore, in fact, absolutely, all these. Correct? So these are the most important parameters that you should keep in your mind when you're speaking. Now, whenever you are being given any question, so what thing you should keep in your mind? The very first thing is sentence expression. The very first thing is sentence expressions. What is sentence expression? See, if I ask you a question, do you like shopping? So you won't say, yes, I like shopping. No, you will be saying, of course. I would say, I am a big shopaholic. I love to shop. Actually, I can call myself a bandwagon. Bandwagon means brand conscious. Is that clear? So as I started my answer with, well, I would say, I believe, I must say, so these are called sentence expressions. We have few sentence expressions, that is, well, then I would say, then absolutely, then indeed, then certainly, then of course, then I must say, then unfortunately or undoubtedly, unfortunately, then undoubtedly, then it depends. All these are the sentence expressions. If you don't know what sentence expression to use, simply go with I would say. I would say. Is that clear? I can call this as the universal sentence expression. Got it?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
The second thing comes connectors. Connectors. In speaking, we actually use easy connectors. We try to use and, but there should be no repetition of connectors. And, but. Instead of and, you can also use moreover. You can also use also. Instead of but, you can use however. You can also use on the other hand. You can also use the connector as even, besides, in fact, therefore.
Furthermore,
Furthermore does not look sound in speaking. Actually, it goes very long. Furthermore. Okay, that is why I don't prefer. Most importantly, all these are the connectors. Is that clear?
Additionally, in addition.
Additionally,
Yes.
in addition to that, correct. Right. Got it? Now, we also use some preposition. The third thing is preposition. Prepositions. So what is preposition? Preposition is actually a word that we use to tell the position of anything. Okay. For example, in, on, at, to, from, for, of, by, all these are the prepositions. All good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Another thing that we take into consideration is important vocabulary. If you don't know much of vocabulary, you can retain few important words that we use most oftenly in speaking. The very first word is very. Instead of very, use immense, extreme, excessive. Second word we have is important. Instead of important, use significant. Then rudiment, crucial, vital.
imperative,
Imperative also, there are many. Getting,
Quintessential.
yeah, inevitable also. We use people word lot many times in speaking. Use masses, folks, individuals. Then should, ought to. Instead of give, use the word render. Then believe, opine, propound. Okay. Something which is common, prevalent, ubiquitous. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the important vocabulary words. Should I move on to the next sheet now?
Ma'am, excuse me. Yeah.
Yes,
Important vocabulary. So anything on the phrases or something we should even think about?
you can go with phrases also, but don't go with idioms. Idioms are not being entertained. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Shall I move on to the next page now?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So see, 5 words are there, which is must being asked by examiner. The very first question that examiner put up is, what is your name? Okay, so you'll be saying my name's XYZ, and you may call me by my initials, this. Second question will be, where do you put up? Where do you put up? Put up means, where do you live? You can say, well, I come from northern part of India as per my whereabouts. Excuse me. Or, well, as per my whereabouts, I am a denizen of Ambala, Kent, or any place. Where do you live? Okay, you can talk about that. You have to elaborate your ideas for at least 3 sentences. Okay. The third question can be, describe your family. Then, what do you do? Then, what are your hobbies? So these are the 5 questions that are must. Next question comes according to the, according to the topics. For example, the topic is places or traveling. Okay. And the question is framed like, see, maximum introductory questions are in present tense. Maximum introductory questions are in present tense, right? For example, the question is, do you like traveling? You could say, well, of course, I love to travel. I love to travel to various places. There are few places where I often go. Sometimes with my friends and sometimes with my family members. However, one place where I would prefer to go is Shimla. It is a beautiful nearby hill station. So this is how you can elaborate. Are you getting? I have used well, of course. I have used often, which is again a good vocab. I have used connected as however. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I give you one question? Would you like to write down that question? 3 sentences? Shall
Yes,
I?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So the question I'm giving you is, do you enjoy fast food? Write the answer quick. All right. Rathya, speak up. Rathya, speak the answer.
Okay, ma'am. Well, of course, I like to eat fast food. I often have fast food with my friends. Sometimes I think fast food is not healthy, but I like. So that's it, ma'am.
Manpreet.
Well, of course, I am foodie, so mostly I try a lot of food. As we know, India is a country of diversity and it has a lot of traditional foods. I am very passionate to taste separate type of foods.
Different type of food. Okay, Nikhil. Nikhil.
Well, of course, I love fast food. I have tried many of the fast foods like momos, pizza, etc. However, the one food I would love to have tacos since it's very delicious. Yeah.
Since it is, it's very important to use since in your answer. Okay, since it is delicious. Okay, see, you could say like the answer could go like, do you enjoy fast food? Of course. If you are food fanatic, you love eating food, you could call yourself, of course, I am a big foodie. Okay. I love to try different dishes. Somebody said like. Instead of like, better to use a word be. Chinese, be it be Chinese, South Indian, continental, etc. Right? But I mostly eat Chinese noodles and dumplings. Got it?
Yes.
Getting? See, when I am answering, I am using everything in simple present. I told you when we are doing the speaking for part 1, 90% questions are being asked in present tense only. So if you have to answer anything in present tense, you will be using simple present. Simple present. The formula for simple present is you will be using subject, you will be using base form of the verb, and you will be using object. For example, I prefer to eat. I love to travel. I enjoy eating. Are you getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. So this is the active form. You can also make your speaking more enjoyable if you're using simple present passive form. Okay. The formula for this go to object plus is R plus subject Okay. If you want to add by, you can, however, it's not necessary. Okay. The example of simple present passive is dumplings, are, okay, my favorite. Or eating junk food is most enjoyable activity. Okay. Are you getting, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Traveling is most preferred pastime activity. When we are answering and we have to, give our proposition, so we generally use simple present passive. All good? All good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Another tense that we use when we are speaking for part 1. See, this tense, this present perfect and present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous. We use. Present perfect, the formula for present perfect that we use is subject plus has have plus third form of the verb plus object. Example, I have traveled to various places. Or next example could be, I have tried various Chinese platters. Getting? If it is a negative, I do not enjoy eating out. Okay, no, it's simple. I have not enjoyed eating out lately. Getting?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are mentioning time, so it will go into perfect continuous. Subject plus has have been gerund. Gerund, if I'm saying, so it is verb ing plus object plus since and for. The example could go like, I have been enjoying Chinese platters since my college days. So mostly when we are speaking, we use simple present tense and we use present perfect continuous tense. Getting?
Yes.
I have been enjoying, liking to read newspaper since my childhood. Or my father has been working so hard for a long time.
So, ma'am, can we use for instead of since on this?
See, if you want to use for, so you'll be using period of time. Since is being used for the point of time, starting point of time, and for is used for the period of time. For example, giving you one more example, My mother has been enjoying watching movies in cinema theater for last 2 years. Is that clear?
Got it, ma'am. Thanks.
So when we are speaking, it's very important to use perfect grammar tenses. And to use perfect grammar tenses, better to go with proper formula for these tenses. And now, if I give you one question, make sure if you want to add time, कब से हुआ, कब से कर रहे हो, so you have to use present perfect continuous. We use simple present, we use present perfect continuous. We do mixing of tenses. If I give you a question, do you read newspaper? Do you read newspaper? And if your answer would go like, certainly, certainly means yes only. Okay. Certainly, I read the Tribune daily. I believe reading newspaper is a very good way to enhance vocabulary, to get abreast with. Abreast with means to get up to date with information of the surroundings and information of the surroundings. Moreover, I have been reading newspaper since I was in 6th standard. For my father provoked me to read newspaper daily. Are you getting, guys, how I am modulating my answer?
Yes.
So I am giving you 5 questions. Okay, you will be thinking about the question. Shall I write 5 questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So the first question of mine is, do you have pets? Do you like cakes? Do you enjoy music? When do you when do you listen songs? And the last question is, how do you manage your expenses? Is that clear?
Yes.
So guys,
Yes.
you must have understood the important things that we take into consideration while speaking. Okay.